I'm blue from depression.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another review here on Pez of the Mind.
It's a review at the half.
It is not the one you're thinking of.
Unless I call it the half, that's just gonna be confusing.
Yeah, no, this is the review of the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony of 2018, which of course happened the Friday before WrestleMania.
Well, I'll say my mind may be slightly foggy on this.
Okay.
Only because I only watched it on the day it came out. Well, the day afterwards. But I was like, because I thought, oh, we're going to review it straight afterwards, and we pushed this back. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So I know I didn't watch it. Did you watch the red carpet?
I did watch the red carpet.
How was that?
I like the red carpet. It's normally fun.
Okay.
Highlight of the night includes Samoa Joe being a complete dick. In character, so which it works because the red carpet is a mixture of out of character and in character.
Yeah.
But Samoa Joe brings a date to the Hall of Fame ceremony, and he's talking to Renee, and he's like, "Yeah, my date, isn't she lovely? Such a shame your date couldn't quite make it, isn't it, Renee? But I'm here even though I'm injured."
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like, even though I'm injured, I'm here. And she's like, yeah. How's your recovery going? It's going pretty well. I think I'm one of the best superstars that's recovering. It's a shame your date couldn't make it. And when he says that, I'm just like, oh, that's so hilarious. And Renee's like, yes, it is a shame. I hope he gets well soon.
Yeah.
And Joe's like, oh, yeah, our condolences, I'm sure. And then carries on to talk about himself. I'm like, that's brilliant. Like Joe, because Joe's just like, oh, yeah, I don't give a shit about him.
Yep.
Which works for Joe.
It does.
You had Matt Hardy there, though, and he wasn't quite woken enough. Like, he wasn't acting woken, he was acting Matt. Which works, like I said, it's a mixture of both. Some are, some aren't. It's weird how they do that.
Yeah, it worked well.
But yeah.
Indeed. So, yes, so we opened up with the bringing out Edge and Christian, who inducted the Dudley Boys.
No. Edge inducted the Dudley Boys. Christian tried to induct himself.
That's true.
Because I did like that. And Ed's like, wait a minute, are you trying to induct yourself? You can't do this. Like, yes, I can. No, you can't. We're inducting the Dudleys.
Just let me finish what I was going to say was.
Yeah. The second one of their show will be coming on the network soon.
Cool.
Yay. But I'll say, yeah, I like this speech. The Dudleys are always great at just telling stories.
Oh, totally.
Ironically, in terms of promo in the ring, I don't think they're quite as good as other teams.
Which is fair.
However, in terms of when they're telling stories, like even on that WWE Stories, when they're doing it on DVDs and documentaries, like just out of Dudleyville and stuff, they're always interesting. And they seem to come from a good place when they do it, like just filled with love from what they'd done. And I like that. It was fun.
Yeah.
And of course, we got a table.
We got a table. We got, of course, I like Devon throwing around his newfound backstage powers. That was funny. And they did a very good bang and forth speech talking about their history coming up together and everything that they went through to get where they were through ECW and everything else. So that was really well done.
It was. I enjoyed that.
I like Edge. Now I know everybody's wondering, why is it Paul Heyman inducting the Dudley Boys? Well, number one, we don't owe them any money.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah, they had great. Then they did the nice thing where they did bring up the Hardys and they gave tribute to TLC, which is really what kind of put them all on the map. And so that
I would argue Paul Heyman should have been the one to induct the Dudleys. He shouldn't be inducting Goldberg. If anything, Bischoff should have done Goldberg.
I could agree with that.
Bischoff or DDP or someone like that.
Yeah.
It should have been like a WCW guy that inducted Goldberg. It shouldn't have been Paul Heyman, because it's like, oh yeah, all their history of him standing outside the ring for like 4 matches. Ooh, they go way back. Lots of lineage there.
Yes.
Like, do you remember the time Paul Heyman was on the outside and did this? Or the time he did this? Or this? Great history.
Yep. Purportedly, Paul was the one behind the booking of the entire Goldberg return and feud with Brock, so that's why they had him do it. But
it still makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
I'd be like having whoever did the whole Dudley's return recently come out and induct them. It wouldn't work. I'd rather it be an easy. Like Taz. If they got Taz back to do that, that would have been awesome.
They had Tommy Dreamer in the building.
He's always in the building.
That's true.
He's always there. Like, oh, it's the day that I come out. Hmm? And they're like, oh, no, Tommy. So, okay, I'll see you next week. So today, do you want a surprise return? I could interrupt Elias. No, Tommy. Next TV guest. No, Tommy.
That's so sad.
Wait, the New Day are saying who? What about Dreamer? No, Tommy. Oh. Incredible Hulk music as he walks away. There's going to be a kendo stick match. Is that me, Tommy? No, Tommy. It's between Alexa Bliss and Bailey. What the fuck? He walks up. He's just done at that point.
Yep.
I don't think that's what happened to the poor Tommy Dreamer.
No, probably not. But yeah. But either way, it was a very good speech on the part of both the inductors and the inductees, and it really drove home with being a tag team and just came out of New York and kind of built their way up despite being not what most people expected from a tag team at the time that they came into the industry.
They came out of Dudleyville. It's not part of New York. Okay. I've checked the map.
Okay, fair.
It's just on the outskirts of parts unknown.
Oh, okay. I don't know. But yeah, that was a really good start. A good way to warm the crowd up and get things going. That was good.
Yeah, they were good. I like it because they always tend to do that with the Hall of Fame. Have a fairly big one, but not the bit of a headliner first.
Yeah. So
the crowd's like, yeah, and then they ease in between the really good ones, the not quite good ones, and then the milking of Ultimate Warrior's death.
Yep. But I'm trying to remember the order this went in. I think after the next one was Hillbilly Jim, I think.
It may have been, yeah.
I don't remember.
It was either him or Ivory.
One of the two.
So we may get the order wrong. It doesn't matter about that.
Yeah. But yeah, so Hillbilly Jim, I didn't really watch wrestling back then, so I didn't know much about the guy, but he seemed like a really good dude, and I like that he, he had a very, very simple speech, but he spoke from the heart, and he told some simple stories about, working with Andre the Giant and all these big names for back in the day, and I thought that really reflected well on who he was, and that was just a simple man from Kentucky who happened to be very large and happened to luck into a career in the WWE that he enjoyed.
Yep, and he is, which I find awesome, he is very humble when he gave his speech.
Indeed.
If you listen to his speech, it's almost the exact opposite of what you imagine a Hulk Hogan speech would be.
Yeah.
It's also funny, small tidbit about him from this year's WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the Stephanie Triple H video?
Which one?
The one I think I tried to link you to, but I'm not sure if you had time to watch it when they're walking around Access.
I don't recall, but fair enough.
They're walking around Access, and it's fun as hell. They do it every year. I mentioned that to you. They've got a sponge ring where people jump in and you can jump in and get out because it's filled with sponge, so you're safe.
Fair enough.
They showed the Hall of Fame antiques and stuff. Ivory bought the glow belt with her, the actual glow belt and stuff.
Nice.
It's called the one she won. Hillbilly Jim, when they saw it and it's just locked in a glass box, he brought the actual hat.
Nice.
The actual Hillbilly Jim hat. And they're like, and Triple H is like, wait, is that the actual hat? And the guy running the little exhibit goes, yeah, that's the actual hat. There's only one of those ever made, and he gave it to us, and that's why it's on display. And Stephanie says, oh, that explains why it's locked away safe. He's like, yep. Because some of the stuff, the Dudley's display, had some of their stuff, but it also has a broken table, which obviously isn't theirs.
Yeah.
And it's got some stuff that people could take photos with, which is cool. But it's just cool that he brought his actual Hillbilly Jim hat, one of a kind. It's yeah, fine, that's fine. Let the fans take pictures of it.
Yeah, that's good. That's neat. Yeah, it was a very simple, humble speech, and Jimmy Hart did a good job with the introduction on that one. Little annoyed he didn't use the megaphone despite carrying it out there, but
Yeah, he didn't use the megaphone, and he also wasn't loud and obnoxious as he normally is.
yeah, no, he wasn't. It was very simple and straight and to the point.
Yep. Which means, at least for the purposes of the Hall of Fame, that's 2 gyms that aren't annoying.
Yep.
So far, we can't even do one. You're welcome. But no, it's a case of when we move on to Ivory, I'll just say, you do Ivory next. We know which one's last, but we'll do Ivory next.
Ivory next, sure.
I liked Ivory's speech. I think it's cool how much she how much we're allowing her to mention Glow and all that stuff now.
Yeah, very much.
Which is cool because that was a huge thing. FYI, there's a Netflix show and it is cool.
That's what I've heard.
And they have interviewed Ivory about that, and she said some of it is accurate, not all of it is. And she said she doesn't want it to be accurate when she watches it, because by having a lot of it not be accurate, it's storylines and stuff like that make people hooked to watch a TV show. Otherwise, just do a documentary.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And she's like, and she really enjoys what they're doing with the Netflix Glow series. That's cool.
That's good, yeah. And I like Molly Holly did a great introduction of her talking about how, Ivory kind of took her under her wing when she was first coming into the business and how they would travel together, and how Ivory was always that that beacon kind of pushing them through. She told a great story about how they were together when 9/11 happened, and Ivory kind of helped everybody keep their spirits up and kind of keep, and she volunteered to wrestle on the 2 nights later when WWE held like the first big event after the attacks. Ivory volunteered to wrestle twice that night so that people could be entertained and could get their minds off the horrible things that were going on.
Yep. Which I will also say, which is slightly funny when you think about it in hindsight, when you watched wrestling back then when she first came in and stuff like that as Molly Holly.
Mm-hmm.
How weird is it that now she's the only Holly that they talk about on TV or show?
Mm-hmm.
I understand may Crash rest in peace. That's why they don't do Crash a lot. But what the fuck happened to Hardcore Holly? The dude just disappeared. Like, I never see him anywhere.
He did. He vanished.
And it wasn't a bad guy. He was a good trainer and stuff. So
he was.
But I'm like, oh, he's probably done something that I may not have been aware of, and that's why they're not bringing him back or something. But
maybe
I miss Hardcore Holly.
Hardcore Holly was cool.
Good old Sparkplug.
Yep.
I liked him in Sparkplug.
Nice.
I know you didn't watch it then. I liked him like that when he was in like the jack. He's like, I'm a race car driver, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool.
That is cool. So I'll give a nice introduction talking about all things that Ivory did for them, about how they would travel with Lillian Garcia, and like I mentioned, when they were having they were upset about the whole 9/11 thing, so she jumps on bed, climbing on dressers, so Molly body slammed Lillian on her bed, and then Ivory hit her with a frog splash.
Yep.
And then Ivory came out and she gave a great speech talking about, the women's revolution and how, there were even, inklings of it back then, and they really pushed things past just women are here to look beautiful toward we can really kick ass in the ring. And I like how she got to frame the whole thing from the point of view of, look, I don't have a man in my life. I'm at this point probably not getting married, so I'm going to treat this like a wedding ceremony. And she analogized everything in her Hall of Fame induction to a wedding ceremony. That was really fun.
Yeah, she did. The point of that, like she'd kind of touched on in there too, is most girls look forward to getting a wedding ring. She looked forward to a Hall of Fame, and that's how much wrestling means to her. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
That is.
Some people didn't like that speech though, and like, oh, that's so cheesy to do that. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's fun. I liked it.
Yeah, it's good. So that was a nice introduction. And of course, Lillian came out and did the introduction for Ivory when she came out, and that was neat. So the 3 of them got to be up there. So that was nice. That was emotional. And then we had good old Double J, Jeff Jarrett, who was inducted by the ROGG.
Yep, which his speech is kind of, in hindsight.
Yeah. Did he sound like he might have been drunk?
No, not that. He sounded awesome. That's how he talks.
Okay.
The part is like, in hindsight, is one of the parts he says in his speech was, "You're doing a great job, Miz, representing the Intercontinental Championship and representing everything that I made it do, and you're a great Intercontinental Champion. Next night, Miz loses it, and you're like, oh, come on. Did they change the ending to annoy Jeff Jarrett?
Anything's possible.
I doubt it, because it's Seth Rollins, if it got the title, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That seems to be their reasoning for mid-card titles these days, is who isn't a Grand Slam champion yet?
Yeah, plus, to be fair, Miz was moving to SmackDown.
Yes. But Miz has a chance to... Miz does have a chance to win it back this Friday in Saudi Arabia at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
He won't.
Probably not, but...
He probably won't, because then he'll have to take it to SmackDown, and...
Yeah.
And unless they do the thing if Jinder Mahal gets a rematch against Jeff Hardy.
It's already scheduled.
Yeah, I mean, they actually swap both
titles back, yeah.
Which would be fun, but...
Be different. But anyway, so Jeff Jarrett gave a nice speech. Road Dogg talked about how, they were, good friends and obviously, came up together and, Road Dogg found that he was going to be Jeff Jarrett's roadie and shit.
Yeah, and they did the song.
They did. They sang the song, which neither of them knows the words to.
Yep.
And they walked around, people joining and singing in the audience and everything. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, to be fair, it was a long time ago when they had to sing that.
Yeah.
Because it was like a gimmick song for their feud.
Right.
But it was awesome. I liked it. I liked Jeff Jarrett. I really did. I'm happy he's actually getting more respect than just being fired with her thumbs down on the air.
Yep.
And now the McMahons have got him through rehab. They've put him in the Hall of Fame. I was actually shocked on SmackDown when Paige was announced as the GM.
Okay.
I thought he was a lock.
Yeah, okay.
Because I was like, Jeff Jarrett's back. He actually would make sense for the GM of SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
WWE might do that. And then they did Paige, which I'm not complaining because I like Paige, but
yeah,
I genuinely thought it might be Jeff Jarrett.
You would think.
Yeah, I liked Jeff Jarrett's speech.
Yeah, it was a good speech. So they did actually that. Well, tangent for a moment here. We had our celebrity induction of Kid Rock by Triple H.
I don't know why we would tangent that.
Well, just because we were kind of going through the main ones, and I'll do the celebrity one.
He was midway through. He was like after some of the other ones, so it makes sense.
Fair enough. Yeah, so Kid Rock introduced by Triple H, which I fully agree with this. I think Kid Rock does deserve it because, as was mentioned, he has been providing music for WWE for like 20 years.
Yeah, he has been doing a lot of music for WWE. He's a wrestling fan, and I will say I liked his speech.
Yeah, it was very good.
And I thought it was hilarious when he's like, they won't let me talk about politics or this. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to body slam some Democrats. And you see like AJ and everyone just going, yes, finally someone's actually saying that on the air.
Yeah.
Instantly, the whiny Democrats went online, oh my God, how dare he say such a thing? And you're like, really? So you can say this non-stop on every channel ever about the other side? But someone says it once as a joke, and the joke was, I'm mentioning politics, not look at you. And you can't handle it? Fucking pussies.
Yep.
That's why no one takes the left seriously anymore.
Yeah. And I did like how he dedicated the induction to his friend, who was always very well known for being his hype man, who unfortunately passed away. And he dedicated that to him, so that was very nice.
Yep.
And
whether or not you like Kid Rock's music is neither here nor there. And I will say I do kind of like his music sometimes. Not as much nowadays, but back in the day I did like his music. I got a few of his CDs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like his music too, and I like it because in recent years he's transitioned to a few country songs, and they've been really good. So I give him credit for crossing genres.
Technically, he did country when he did hip hop type music, and he mixed them together and found his sound. So it's more just what he does.
Fair enough. Well, that was a good induction. We had our legacy inductees this year. They included such legends as Stan Stasiak, Lord Alfred Hayes, Dara Singh, Cora Combs, El Santo, the legendary luchador, Jim Lundos, Rufus R. Jones, Sputnik Monroe, Boris Malenko, father of Dean, and Hiro Matsuda from Japan. So
you're not going to mention that Stasiak was the great grandfather of Stasiak, who kept running over the top rope every week.
I could.
Don't think he is. But it's not a common name, so it sounds like it's plausible.
Yeah, it might be. I always thought that they were related.
I don't think it'll be his great granddad, but
No, it's his dad. It's Sean Stasiak's dad. Hashtag Planet Stasiak.
Yep. But I always like the legend. I always like the legacy, or whatever you want to call it. These ones, because it's cool that they're going back to a time before a lot of people knew it because it wasn't on TV or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they're actually giving recognition to them. Some people complain about that, but I'm like, why? Why would you? They're dead.
Yeah,
They're
no reason.
part of history.
Exactly. All right, and then we had our annual milking of the Ultimate Warrior's memory.
More milking of his death.
Oh well, yeah, his death and memory.
His death and arguably his last dying wish.
Yep.
Changing it to something it shouldn't be.
Yeah, and as she does every year, Dana Warrior came out and gave an emotional speech as if she was receiving an award.
Yep.
Talking about the Ultimate Warrior. Now, I give her credit because it was 4 years ago that he was inducted and passed away, and this thing was established, and they're back in New Orleans where it happened. So I understand it this year a little more than most.
To be fair, they've done that a lot. Like all the other years, it's got to be. I think she fakes it at this point.
Maybe
she just likes living on that big WWE royalty check she gets from the Ultimate Warrior stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this is inductee who I did really like.
Including soon the Blu-ray remaster of the Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior.
I doubt that.
No, they would never remaster that. As far as WWE is concerned, that never happened. They always loved Ultimate Warrior.
Of course. This year's inductee for the Warrior Award was Jarius J.J. Robertson, a young man who survived a severe genetic liver disease, had to have several transplants, but still managed to survive, and founded a charitable organization that encourages people to be organ donors to help save other lives. And I like this kid. This guy was awesome.
I like the guy. I still say the award should not happen, and it's a disgrace that it does.
I can agree. I can understand that, but I think the award is a disgrace in that it's named after the Ultimate Warrior. The idea of an award for people like this is a good idea. Just the fact the Ultimate Warrior's name is attached to it is the problem.
No, even an award for people like this is a disgrace.
Why is that?
They have nothing to do with wrestling. That's why American football and stuff doesn't do this. If anything, this award should be for what Ultimate Warrior originally intended it to be, and it should be for the guys in the back that do the music, or the guys in the back that help with the production, and the guys that will never be into the Hall of Fame. So you've got people who have been in the business for years behind the scenes who will never go into the Hall of Fame, but they're going to induct like sick children or something to get some publicity out of it. It kind of ruins what the Hall of Fame stands for, because the Hall of Fame, don't get me wrong, it's bad that they have the diseases, obviously, but that doesn't equal Hall of Fame. That's what the Hall of Fame's for. It's to recommend history of wrestling.
Okay. Which is fair enough. I still found this young man very entertaining. I like that he, it's a good material. He came up talking about how, his favorite star is Roman Reigns, and he tried to tone the crowd down when they booed, and talked about how he didn't like The Miz, and how he, WWE was treating him so nice that at this point he was more likely to have a WrestleMania match than John Cena. That was really funny. I got John Cena was like, yep, you're not wrong.
Yeah, which I will say, like I said, I liked the kid. I wasn't insulting the kid. It
was
no,
not at all.
The idea of the award.
Concept of the award. Yeah, I got you. So that was very nice. And then from Hall of Pain to Hall of Fame, we had the great Mark Henry, who deserves this. Just really does.
He was being inducted by John Cena, who Mark Henry then turned on him again during his retirement speech and was like, ha ha ha, I tricked you all. And then we moved on to Goldberg.
But that would have been amazing though. But no, he was in Mark Henry was inducted into the Hall of Fame by his very good friend, The Big Show.
Can't believe I'm going to say this. I don't know if I agree with Mark Henry being in the Hall of Fame.
Really? Huh.
I mean, I don't think he deserves it.
Okay.
Because, why does he deserve it?
He's a multi-time world champion. He's the world's strongest man. He's represented WWE very well over the years.
Man has nothing to do with WWE.
Yes, it does. It's on all his merchandise.
Yes, because it's an actual competition that he won outside the WWE, like Olympic gold medalist is on Kurt Angle's. It's not tied to wrestling. It's just something he has.
True. That's true. Well,
because no, the reason I say that is he's been in the company how many years?
a very long time.
How many was he active?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was injured or backstored, kept off the air a lot of that time.
True.
I mean, he's a world champion, which is great, but so is like Dolph Ziggler. I wouldn't put him in there yet.
True.
That's all I meant. Is he spent a lot of his esteemed career on the shelf.
That's true.
But I still like Mark Henry. He gave a good speech. I was just saying, I'm not 100% sure if he belongs there, but yeah, he definitely does more than the kid.
Yeah. Okay. And I can see. Yeah. I think it's a lot about not just that, but also everything he's done behind the scenes. Like they talked about, when he was being inducted, the biggest talk about how Mark Henry is a great recruiter, how he's brought tons of people into the company for tryouts. I think scouting that new talent, willing to go the extra mile to help people who are interested in this business, who love the business. And I think that's really. I think Mark Henry's heart is a part of that. And I think that I think it showed why he's here, even if by strictly career standards, he might not be quite at that level.
Yeah, which I was saying, I'm not sure. Like, there's other people who could have been taking that spot over him.
Yeah.
Certainly. But it's still cool having him.
Yeah, and he did a great speech, thanking, all the people that helped him out, the various people that he worked with over the years, people like Big Show and whatnot, Farouk and the Nation of Domination, the ECW guys when he was that champion, and all the different people who helped him get there. The fact that he had the chance to go from weightlifting into the WWE because they scouted him out. His family, which is great, and I like how Mark Henry actually went out like to number one, bisexual chocolate for a couple of minutes, and hit on Stephanie. And then at the end, he actually brought out the pink jacket, and he did the thing again. And I guess no, I'm just kidding. My buddy calls this the lion ass jacket. Like, all right, that was pretty funny.
Which it is funny that was backstage in that Stephanie Triple H video under the Hall of Fame merchandise. He brought the suit, and it's hanging up on the Mark Henry stuff.
Nice.
I find that fucking funny because that was a great moment where everyone was like, "Oh, he's actually retiring," and it's one of the real times where most people thought, "Oh God," and then he just turned, and you're like, "That was actually genius." I loved it.
It was really well done. Yeah, good on Mark Henry. And then, of course, our headline Hall of Famer this year, being inducted by Paul Heyman for reasons unknown, is Goldberg, who did come out from his locker room with his security in a tux.
Which was weird for Paul Heyman to do that, but
I know. But yeah, Goldberg came out, and Paul Heyman talked very briefly just about how how much he did respect Goldberg, and how it was important for Brock to have an opponent that he was believable against, and how Goldberg was always such a believable combatant and so impressive in the ring and what he did. And and it sure as hell ain't Roman Reigns. Like, yeah, you're still Paul Heyman the character. I get it.
I'm just gonna say, in the ring, Roman Reigns is better than Goldberg ever was.
Yeah.
I will say Goldberg's spear is better, but Roman Reigns is just better than Goldberg was in the ring. Like, I Goldberg in the ring is no. Just no.
I gotta say, just personally, I hope it's a point of future. It'll probably never happen, but I would like if they worked it in at some point in the future, just as an off match. If Goldberg's looking for one more match, I would like to see, even if it's not at WrestleMania, even if it's at a like SummerSlam or some other pay-per-view, I would like to see Goldberg end up just maybe in a verbal spar with him on Raw or something to kick it off, and let Jericho finally have his pay-per-view match against Goldberg.
He has had a pay-per-view match against Goldberg.
Yes,
I believe. I think Jericho was inside the Elimination Chamber with Goldberg.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I think with Triple H and stuff.
You're maybe right. I didn't think about that. Fair enough.
I thought actually looked that up.
Yeah, but I did appreciate how Goldberg gave his speech. He was, Goldberg is a good talker. I mean, he's not on the level of someone like The Miz or Shawn Michaels, but he's a good talker. And he gave a very good speech talking about, how he understands in retrospect that he was a huge asshole back in his WCW days. And now he understands that his entire first run of the WWE sucked. I sucked. The run sucked. The match with Brock sucked. Let's move on.
Yes, the Elimination Chamber. Triple H defeated Goldberg, Chris Jericho, Kevin Nash, Randy Orton, and Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
Because
match.
Yeah, to be fair, some of the original Elimination Chambers were so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like the one Shawn Michaels won was just, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like, it's John Cena, and you're like, okay, that's a main eventer. Roman Reigns, okay. Then you're like, Curtis Axel, what? Brock Lesnar, no, go back to the other one. No, Dallas. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And Zack Ryder, and you're like, why?
What?
Why at this point?
It's like they populated it with a randomizer from 2K18.
They got 3 main eventers, and then they only have like 2 or 3 main eventers, and then they just fill it with mid card at that point.
Yeah. But I give a lot of props to Goldberg for acknowledging that. Yeah, I'm aware of what is said about me, and I'm aware that a lot of it is true. I acknowledge my flaws in the past, but I feel like I've grown past that. Both in being able to come back and do what I love, do it in front of my son, who was the inspiration for me to come back. My lovely wife. And I saw Goldberg give a nice, well-rounded speech. I did feel like the way he had structured his speech, he seemed to be hoping that the audience was going to give a little more response. But I think that after 4 hours, they were exhausted.
Maybe, but it's also stuff that you're like, yeah, you've already said this.
Yeah, true. I just thought it was
He's mentioned his kid being the inspiration for why he got back in the ring almost every day since he announced he was getting back in the ring.
True.
At this point, it's up there with Miz announcing, did you know Miz is having a baby?
Right.
The only difference is Miz is aware it's annoying.
Right.
And is using that for heat. Goldberg is just so blissfully unaware.
Yep.
But no one wants to hear that all the time.
Yep. But there was still a very good speech from Goldberg, and I thought that he did a good job, summarizing his career, thanking the people that, that it was important to. And I like this point at the end of saying that, my original goal was always to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. But, being here in the WWE Hall of Fame, I think this is, this trumps it any day of the week.
Yeah, which is a pun because Trump's in it.
Ah. I don't think he actually said that word for word, but that was the general idea that he got across.
No, he said it word for word, then winked at the camera and winked full well that Trump was in the Hall of Fame.
Ah, okay.
Because if there's one thing Goldberg's famous for, it's his awareness at social events.
Yes.
Because if anyone's like, oh my God, this is so cool, I need to know if this idea works within wrestling, or I need to know about this like social construct right now, you go to Goldberg.
Yes. I
once heard Damien Sandow went on record as saying Goldberg was the guy he used to phone up every single day and get him to help him with the crossword solutions.
Ah.
That's just a fact. He's like, oh my God, and Goldberg was so good. I mean, yeah, he'd talk for a long period of time, like an over-the-top entrance in order to get to helping me out. But once he did, he beat that crossword in like 2 seconds flat.
Mm.
And then he'd always ask, what puzzle's next? It was weird.
I miss Damien Sandow.
I like Damien Sandow. I'm so glad they repackaged him as Elias. It just works.
Yes.
That's like going from Isaac Yankem to Kane with that style of repackaging. It works. They found a gimmick that got him over.
Yes. But anyway, yes, that was the 2018 Hall of Fame ceremony.
Yep, and I like this year's Hall of Fame. I like the red carpet. I loved, and I do recommend watching that Access video I linked you to, Jim.
Fair enough.
It's just fun whenever they do that.
Yep.
But I love that. I do love that where you got them going around looking at the stuff. But yeah, the Hall of Fame this year, it was a good selection of guests.
Yep.
Ironically, I feel it was maybe too one era structured. Because Dudley's, Ivory, Jeff Jarrett, Goldberg, they're all pretty much Attitude Era. Even though 1 or 2 started before, that's the era they're most famous for.
True.
Like, if you say to people Jeff Jarrett, I think as much as people remember the original Jeff Jarrett with the light up hat, which is awesome, I think the one most people remember is Slapnut in WCW with the guitar. But yeah, that would be my only complaint besides milking her to death.
Yeah.
Would be, but that's always my complaint. So that's neither here nor there with that. It was a little too one-sided with an era. Normally, I feel like they could have gone maybe with people from different, like an era before it, a little bit more. Because the only one really from the era before was probably Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah.
And obviously the legacy inductees before anyone mentions that. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But still, it was cool. I liked what they did.
Yeah, okay.
But I also think at this point, it might be because they've already inducted a lot of the big names from the eras before.
Yeah.
And it's going to be weird. I think it's going to be weird in like 5 to 10 years' time when we start like putting into the Hall of Fame all the ruthless aggression era people.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to be like, oh, God. No, they can't go in there. That was too recent. That was only... Holy fuck, it was that long ago? I've been watching since before that. Oh my God, I've wasted my life.
Yep. All right, but yeah, overall...
But I was your host for this.
No,
Chriz,
you weren't.
AKA the Mo.
No, you weren't. Not at all.
Host, Chriz, AKA the Mo.
No. No.
Joining me.
No.
Joining me was James Phoenix.
No.
Oh, you want a different name? Okay, joining me was Sugar Tits. Basically.
No. But yes, no. Yeah, this was the Hall of Fame induction, and thank you for joining me. And do stay tuned. The final countdown will be this Tuesday. We're going to count down our top 5. What is it? Hero. I don't have the theme in front of me.
Resurrections, because
That's it,
it's
Resurrection.
Easter. So, like Jesus resurrecting, we're doing hero resurrections.
Gotcha. Fair enough. And then we're going to be at some point reviewing Infinity War, so stay tuned for that.
That's the 28th.
We're gonna talk about that once we're off the air.
Oh God, are we having to move that one as well?
Probably. But anyway, this has been the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. Thank you for joining us, folks, and we'll see you next time. Peace.